Sorry about that, you guys. I'm gonna try to figure out how I can make this all into one big video, but it just my recording kept stopping. But as I was saying about the Giants, Eli Manning may have played his last game as a Giant. Um, he had, he went 26 for 45, 250 yards, and one touchdown, two interceptions. That one touchdown was to Jones, who had three catches for 38 yards. Barkley went off again, 18 carries for 107 yards and a touchdown. And here's the news that I'm so excited to see about Sunday. Daniel Jones, the rookie that's coming out that did so good in the preseason, is finally going to get a start to play this weekend. So we will see what happens. Now we get into the injury prone, basically, game. Seattle and Steelers. Seahawks beat the Steelers by 2. Wilson went 28 for 35 for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. One touchdown was to Metcalf, who had 61 yards, and another to Disley, who had 5 receptions for 50 yards and 2 TDs. Penny had 10 carries for 62 yards and 1 touchdown. Seattle looks good to me, in my opinion. They look really good to me. Of course, starting 2-0, being early, it won't mean much to me. But now we get into the Steelers, and the Steelers are a mess. They were a mess last week when they got beat to a pulp by the Patriots, and their woes just continue. Big Ben, here's how bad this is going to be. 8 for 15, 75 yards. He injured his throwing arm. Found out Monday that he's going to have season-ending surgery, which means he will not be playing anymore this year. Connor also injured himself. He had 11 rushing attempts for 33 yards, 1 touchdown, and he injured his knee. Mason Rudolph came in for Ben Roethlisberger. He went 12 for 19, 112 yards, 2 touchdowns. Those 2 touchdowns were to the tight end McDonald, who had 7 receptions for 38 yards, 2 touchdowns. We'll see what happens this week. The Steelers just acquired Minkah Fitzpatrick from the Dolphins to help with their defense, so hopefully that'll work for them. Hopefully. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But right now the Steelers need to work on the offense, because I think everybody was thinking Juju Smith-Schuster is going to be our new guy. He'll be doing great. I have not even seen him go over 100 yards yet. He had 84 yards. No touchdowns, 5 receptions for 84 yards. You can't have 85 yards if you're going to be a star wide receiver. Which brings me back to what I was saying about Tampa Bay, which is why I think their offense is clicking so good, because they're not focused on just giving the ball to Mike Evans. They're focused on getting the ball everywhere else, not just to Mike Evans. And that's the problem with the Steelers, in my opinion. They have to figure out who they're going to get the ball to. And I'm not just talking about Juju. I'm talking about, like, everywhere else. And plus, you got to catch the ball, too. There have been more drops by the Steelers wide receivers than I've seen in years. And I've been around a long time watching football. So, not that long. I'm not that old. But a very long time. And back when the Steelers won the Super Bowl against Seattle, which is really interesting, this was actually, in my opinion, a playoff Super Bowl rematch back in 2004, 2005, when the Steelers won, when they had Jerome Bettis. But this year, the Steelers, I don't think they can find what they're looking for. If they don't find it quickly, they're gonna allow Baltimore to run away with that division, which Baltimore to me is doing an amazing job. Lamar Jackson has come out very far, fast and furious, fast and furious. Fast and Furious has Lamar Jackson come out. He's hitting his. He's got a new favorite target, and Mark Andrews, and he is on fire. He's clicking with all his wide receivers, and let's see. I'm gonna. He went 23 for 37, 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, both to one to Hurst, one to Andrews, who had 8 receptions for 112 yards. He also was leading running back. He had 120 rushing yards. Watch out for the Ravens, you guys. If you watch the playoffs, watch out for the Ravens. I'm kind of scared this weekend because the Ravens come to Kansas City, and if Lamar Jackson carves up the Chiefs' defense like he carved up the Cardinals' defense, Kansas City's going to lose their first game. I don't care what you say about Patrick Mahomes being on Kansas City's team. Patrick Mahomes cannot do what he did last year, being the only guy being able to score. That's not going to happen. If the Ravens get in a shootout, I'm scared to say this, but I think the Ravens could win this game this weekend if they get into a shootout, if Lamar Jackson stays upright. As for the Cardinals, Murray went 25 for 40, 249 yards. Johnson had 7 carries for 14 yards, 1 touchdown. And Christian Kirk had 6 receptions for 114 yards. The Cardinals are going to be fine this next year. I don't think this year's going to be their year to come back into the playoffs, but we'll see what happens. I might be wrong about that. Now on to the Cowboys. The Cowboys are the Cowboys. My opinion, Dak needs to get paid really soon. I would say by his bye week, but when they go into the bye, I would be shocked if the Cowboys owner did not get him into a contract situation. The final score for that game was 31-21. Dak went 26 for 30, 269 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's clicking, and it doesn't matter what you do. You gotta blitz on Dak Prescott. You gotta bring your defense into a cover 0 play. Bring all your guys, and you'll stop Dak Prescott. Ezekiel Elliott didn't have a bad day either. He went 23 for 111 yards, 1 touchdown. Jason Witten does it again, scores another touchdown coming out of retirement. He had 25 yards after 4 receptions. Amari Cooper had 44 yards with a touchdown. And a rookie, I don't know where from, had 74 yards for a touchdown. As for for Washington, they did okay without having Darius Geis, which is out for, I believe, if I remember correctly, this season. Keenum went 26 for 37, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns. Peterson is back. He had 25 yards with a touchdown. And those 2 touchdowns that Keenum threw, he threw to McLaurin, who had 62 yards after 5 receptions, and Richardson, who had 3 receptions for 16 yards. I did talk about the Ravens game, but I didn't give the final score. It was 23-17. Kyler Murray, he's gonna be all right. Like I said, he's gonna be fine. Now on to Jacksonville, and I mentioned this earlier. Jacksonville Jaguars, they're not a team that I'm impressed with. They're a little skeptical. They had to bring in a backup. Gardner Minshew went 23 for 33, 213 yards, 1 touchdown, and that was to DJ Chalk. He also had 6 rushing yard attempts, 56 yards. That's basically it. The final score was Texans 13, Jaguars 12. The Jaguars went for 2 instead of going for the tie, which I understand, but I don't agree with, in my opinion. And Watson for the Texans, went 16 for 29, 156 yards, and had only 1 touchdown, which was the rushing touchdown. Carlos Hyde had 90 yards after 20 attempts, and Hopkins had 40 yards, 5 receptions. Now you might be asking, well, why is Hopkins only got 5 receptions for 40 yards? Jalen Ramsey. This is the guy I'm telling you about, you guys. Jalen Ramsey is a flyer. He will fly everywhere, across the stadium. He will go anywhere. I don't care if you put Antonio Brown on him. Antonio Brown will not get over 10 catches. Yes, you heard me correctly. Over 10 catches. He'll probably have 5 catches, but he will not. If the Jacksonville Jaguars do not trade Jalen Ramsey to Kansas City or to anywhere else, Brown will destroy anybody else, but I believe that Jalen Ramsey will keep him in check, my opinion, because he's such a good cornerback. And it didn't just show up when he came into the league. It showed when he was in Florida State as well. Like I said, he's young. Both these guys are young. But Jalen Ramsey, watch out for Jalen Ramsey. He is a guy that is going to come into the league, that has already came into the league, that will only be getting better. Now on to the Bears and Broncos game. I was happy and / upset about this game. Bears won 16-14. Trubisky went 16 for 27, 120 yards. No touchdowns, no picks. Montgomery had 18 carries for 62 yards, 1 touchdown. His first touchdown as a Bear. Congratulations to Montgomery. And Robinson had 4 receptions for 41 yards. Flacco for the Broncos went 35 for 50. That's a lot of passing, in my opinion. 92 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. His only touchdown was to Emmanuel Sanders, who had 98 yards, and Freeman had 54 yards. Here's why I'm so upset about this game. Bradley Chubb tackles Mitch Trubisky. A clean tackle, just a simple tackle, would have ended the game. Broncos would have won. The officials called roughing the passer on Bradley Chubb. I do not agree with that. I watched the replay. I do not agree with that at all. Same thing happened last year when Kansas City played against the Patriots. You cannot, in my opinion, show favoritism to one specific team and not show favoritism to the other team. I'm going to leave it at that. Basically, long story short, the Bears got in the field goal range. Goal timeout. Rookie kicker kicked a 56-yarder. Nailed it. Game over. Bears won. Whoop-de-doo. Oh, boy. But the referees have to get on the same page and fix this. I don't care. It's just stupid. You can't do that to a specific team. And it was a clean hit. It wasn't even a throw down. It was a tackle. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Now the game that I was so hyped about that turned into a blowout was the Saints and Rams game. Rams won 27-9. Drew Brees got injured, hurt his hand on Aaron Donald, Aaron Donald's helmet. If he wouldn't have gotten injured, this game would have been close, in my opinion. Instead, Teddy Bridgewater comes in. I'm sorry. 17 for 30, 165 yards, no touchdowns. Kamara had a slow day, 45 yards after 13 carries. Again, this goes to what I'm trying to say. You can't just eliminate your best running back. Nor can you eliminate your best wide receiver. Michael Thomas had 10 receptions for 89 yards. Last week, he had a touchdown. He had over 10 receptions. He had over 100 yards, if I remember correctly. But with Teddy Bridgewater now in, I don't expect a lot of things to happen with Michael Thomas. He'll get his touches, so will Alvin Kamara. But I think that this offense will be a little bit struggling with everything now that Drew Brees is out. Goff went 18 for 38, 283 yards, one touchdown, and that was to Brandon Cooks. Which I was really confused about. I think Goff should have had 2 touchdowns. Maybe. One to Cooper Kupp, who had 5 receptions for 120 yards, and the other one to Cooks. Gurley comes back, scores his first touchdown of the 2019 season, if I remember correctly. 16 rushing attempts for 63 yards. Todd Gurley's back, which is good, because the Rams need him. Basically, they need him very badly. Without Todd Gurley, that team's going to be one-dimensional. And if you're one-dimensional, like I've been telling everybody, you're not going to go far. Sunday Night Football was a great game. A great game. Falcons won at 24-20. Carson Wentz went for 25 for 43, 231 yards, 1 touchdown. That 1 touchdown was to Aguilar, which was good for Nelson Aguilar. He had 8 receptions for 107 yards, 1 touchdown. Michael Sanders, had 10 carry yards for 28 yards. 10 rushing attempts for 28 yards. Sorry, my bad. Alshon Jeffrey got injured. Zach Ertz had a chance to give the Eagles the first down. Instead, he was short of the marker. Matt Ryan did really well. 27 for 43, 320 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did have 3 interceptions. 2 of those touchdowns went to Julio, 5 receptions, 406 yards. And then the other went to Calvin Ridley, who had 8 receptions, 405 yards. But if you get a chance, you guys got to watch the highlights of this game, because the tackle for the Atlanta Falcons pancaked a cornerback so good, so well, that it sprung Julio Jones for 67-plus yard touchdown catch and run. Without that block, Julio would have been stopped short of the line. The Eagles would have gotten the ball. Big whoop. Okay, final game of week 2 was the Browns and the Jets. Browns won it easily, 23-3. Mayfield went 19 for 35, 325 yards, 1 touchdown. He did have an interception. Nick Chubb came back, had 62 yards, 1 touchdown, 18 carries. Again, I'm going to say it all throughout the year. You got to give your guy more than 18 touches of the football. Odell Beckham first came back back to MetLife, 6 receptions, 161 yards, 1 touchdown, 89 yards. He went back to MetLife, dominated like he should. Now on to injuries for the for the uh, for the Browns. I'm sorry. For the Browns, they lost David Njoku. He'll be out for at least a month.